Hello, welcome to the Comics Panel. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about Venom and Black Tom Cassidy.
Possibly.
Okay, here we go. The reason we're going to be talking a little bit about Venom and Black Tom Cassidy is their upcoming roles maybe in movies.
Yes. Just found out that it's a possibility Deadpool's villain in Deadpool 2 is going to be Black Tom Cassidy. First appearance, I believe, is X-Men 102. And what's interesting about his power is he does something with plants. He has
It's through wood.
Is it through wood? Mm-hmm. I thought it was plant life.
Because
I read one time it was
it
plant
might
life.
be both, but I think
you're right,
it was,
wood, because he also pushes it through a shillelagh.
Through wood, yeah, and there for a while he was part wood.
He was part. Oh, yeah. That's right. I do remember that. Yeah, a long time ago. Mm-hmm. But you're right, because the shillelagh also harnesses his power too. Yeah. So, as far as a powerful mutant, decently powerful, as a good foe to Deadpool, fantastic. I think this is going to be good because nobody really has seen him compared to, say, a Colossus or some of the other characters we've been seeing so many through the X-Men, the Juggernauts and stuff. In fact, Juggernaut used to be a good teammate of his for a long time.
They were teamed up for a long time. They were the ones that really relied on each other. They were the only ones that each other really counted on.
Oh yeah,
type of thing.
They had each other's back.
That was it. They didn't trust anybody else except each other.
Yep, and for villains, that's a tough thing, finding a villain that you can trust. And for years they worked. But one thing, as we're talking about too, I just realized in the comics for a while, Black Tom helped raise Banshee's daughter.
Yes.
Who Siren becomes a love interest with Deadpool. So we might see a Siren in there.
Oh, there you go.
Because in the one X-Men, number 2, where they attacked the mansion, remember there was a screaming girl?
Yeah.
And everybody was blocking their ears? That had to be Siren. They didn't. I don't know if they ever mentioned it, if it was or wasn't, but how many Sonic people from their voice, it's either Banshee or Siren, so if it's a girl, well, it's got to be Siren. So that's something possibly to look forward to. They signed the actor. I just forgot the guy's name, but I think it's more important to talk about the comic right now if they do bring him in. So there's also another character we talked about. You were saying before on this? What's the other one? Venom?
Venom.
What's going on with Venom? Who knows anything about Venom?
I just heard that Tom Hardy was cast to be Venom in
the new Spider-Man flick.
So what is he? Where do we know that guy's name from?
From Dark Knight Rises, he played Bane.
Bane, okay.
Taboo.
So he's a big guy.
Which should work out for Venom.
Yeah.
Better than, what's his face from that 70s show who was scrawny.
Oh, yeah, that was the worst Venom.
Forget about that.
Yeah, I wish they would. I wish they would have never brought that in. That was the worst.
Hello. We will return to the show momentarily. You may not recognize my face, but you would recognize my name. I am a comic book writer, and I am here to ask you to subscribe to the Comics Panel's YouTube channel. This will ensure that you shan't miss a single episode. Who knows? I may even tell you my name. Go on, click the subscribe button. I'll wait. Thank you. Now, back to the show.
It was great to hear that Venom was going to be there, but when you see it on the big screen...
Yeah, it was a bit of a disappointment.
The only good thing about the movie is it kept the truism, if you will, that there was a meteor, it shot to Earth. Okay, we know it came from space.
Well, it was from space.
That's the good
in the
thing.
original comics, the symbiote is when they're out in space fighting the secret wars.
Beyond Earth.
And
Number 8, I think, right?
7, I think it was.
7 or 8. I'm
7 or 8. We tried.
Spider-Man loses his costume.
Maybe our
and the
editor can get
Beyonder
that.
provides him with this new one. You don't find out until later that it's actually a living thing that bonds with its host and enhances the powers. Therefore, it ends up getting more spider-like powers, like Spider-Man. He can shoot webs, and it gives him a whole more range of powers and abilities, though, too. It augments his strength even more, gives him camouflage capabilities, things like that.
More so, it's when he was bonding with Spider-Man, after he left Spider-Man, he found out how to filter Spider-Man's spider
Spidey sense.
Spidey
That's
sense,
right.
Remember,
Yeah.
because the first appearance of Venom actually is his hand. You know how we were talking about Hulk 180 and
Yeah.
stuff?
Yeah.
They originally had it for whereas Spider-Man was missing series, and Spider-Man was standing waiting for a train. And this hand pushed him into an oncoming train. He's like, I should have sensed that I was coming. What's going on? And then they found out that Todd McFarlane was going to take over Amazing Spider-Man, so they scrapped it that he was going to be there, and they introduced it in 299, 300 being the big Venom shot. But Venom, or the symbiote, can actually filter out that. So when they fight each other, he's on an unequal ground now compared to other times in
Yeah.
other
Right.
fights. So that Venom, that's another amazing power that you could take away from Spider-Man, because now he can't predict with certain abilities, if you will, what's going to be a right punch or a left punch or
Or where the danger's coming from.
exactly,
Right.
which
Not
is pretty
necessarily
cool.
what it is. Just move to the left or right or up or whatever.
And the good thing is, at least with Spider-Man 3, even though we don't like Tobey Maguire as it, not Tobey Maguire, who's that guy? Tobey was in the Spider-Man.
Topher Grace.
Oh, Topher Grace, that's
Yeah.
it. So, it came from space. At least they kept that original.
Yes. Yeah.
Or kept it the real. But in the cartoon series and everything that we're seeing in the books now, they were saying it was created in a lab. Well, that just throws all the stories that Marvel did in the past. Because at one time they said there's a whole planet of these
Oh, yeah.
characters.
Yeah.
Right.
And that was the bad guy. He was in jail.
They even kind of cloned there for a while symbiotes here on Earth.
Yeah, there was a couple miniseries that-
even before they did the whole Carnage thing, it was they had created symbiotes.
Well, they
Right.
forced Venom to spawn
Yeah.
a whole bunch,
Right.
And they forced, and in fact, then there was Carnage. Toxic was another one. That's the son of Carnage, I believe, right? That was a short
so,
run,
yeah.
lived. But the one where they had a whole bunch of them,
There was
they
a yellow one, a blue one.
all
Yeah.
different colors
Yeah.
and all different abilities. That
Right.
was the weird one. It was kind of like the Power Rangers for
That
Venom.
kind of went a little too far.
Yeah, yeah.
And then but that's because Venom was so popular.
yeah,
They
it's
turned him
huge,
into an
yeah.
anti-hero,
Oh, yeah.
And then they start messing around with the original secret sauce, and then they say, oh, we made it in a lab. And now what we have to hope for is with the Venom movie is they keep it's from, we can't go into the Secret Wars phase.
Yeah, it doesn't
but
have to
keep
be
it to
quite
space.
that, but it should come from outer space and be something that needs to bond to a host, otherwise it will die.
Right.
It has to have a host.
Well, yes and no, because they've already kept it away, like when they had Eddie in
It doesn't
jail,
have
and
to
it doesn't die.
have to die right away. It can live along, but it has to have a host.
But, well,
Being the point.
okay.
That's part of a symbiote. You have to have a host. Without it, you're just going to die.
they've never have they said that in the comic? Because a lot of times they kept Eddie Brock away from it for long periods of time. Except in comic books, what is time?
Yeah.
But they never said we better put it on Eddie for a little bit because it's going to die. I never saw that. If they did, I didn't read it. That's all.
Yeah, I don't know if they ever did that or not, but
sure
my
either.
understanding, at least at the beginning of before when Venom first started out, it needed a host.
Okay.
Without a host, it just couldn't really-
Survive.
or it couldn't be productive anyway.
Oh, good. Shut it down if you want to. But one cool thing is, if we see the Venom movie, we might see Carnage. Which to me, I love Carnage
That would
over
be
Venom. Once they made Carnage, I was like, oh, Venom's secondary to me. I love Carnage. And, because he's truly crazy, unpredictable. At least you could talk to Venom, maybe take him off the ledge. You're not doing that with Carnage. So hopefully I think, if anything, let's talk about if they make the Venom movie and they make him an anti-hero, who should be his first villain? Carnage, right?
It would have to
Yeah.
be Carnage. He should debut as a full-blown villain. And then become the anti-hero type of thing. Then have the Eddie Brock personality get control or more
And
control.
realize a moral.
And, have a little bit of a compass then.
Okay.
That type of thing. That's what I'd like to see.
Yeah. Oh,
I'd
love
and
to
then
see
you
the
could go on to Carnage or whatever else you're going to do where you get the real crazy things going on.
I think you'd have to bring in Carnage early because who else? Granted, there's so many things that could take him down: Fire, Sonic, what else? I think those are the two.
Those are the only
biggies.
two, really, the big ones.
And the good thing is anybody can get them. Fire.
Yeah, just any super loud noise disrupts his ability to bond with the host.
Yeah. Could really hurt him.
Yeah, that's that's the thing that separates him from the host. And then, of course, heat is just heat.
Yeah.
It's
Fire.
just as damaging to him as it is to practically
Anybody else. Right, like when they...
Everything burns.
That was Robot
Sooner
Chicken.
or later, everything burns.
They were talking in Robot Chicken. They were making a joke. Batman had his dossier of how to hurt people, and they said they show Robin, "Hey, what can hurt Martian Manhunter?" And he opens it up. He goes, "Fire! Fire could hurt him." He goes, "Fire hurts everybody." And I thought that was great. So, did we nail this episode?
I think so.
I think so. Okay, if you get tired of the same old story, please turn some comic book pages and leave any comments in the box below.
And please like us on Facebook.
Subscribe to us on YouTube, please.
Thank you.
Thank you.